Time, the most precious resource we are given. It slips through our fingers quietly, with every tick of the clock, with every sunrise and sunset. And yet, how often do we stop to ask ourselves, what am I truly doing with my time? Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, posed this very question almost 2,000 years ago in his essay on the shortness of life. He begins with a startling observation. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Take a moment to let that sink in. Life is not short. Life is long, if we know how to use it. But how many of us truly do? Every day we act as though time is infinite. We push our dreams to tomorrow, our meaningful moments to someday, and our peace of mind to retirement. Seneca says, "You are living as if destined to live forever." Your own frailty never occurs to you. You don't notice how much time has already passed, but squander it as though you had a full and overflowing supply. Think about this. How many hours have you given to things that don't truly matter? The endless scrolling on social media, the meetings that should have been emails, the worries about what others think of you. These are not just harmless distractions, they are thieves. They rob you of the only currency you can never earn back: time. But why do we waste it? Seneca believed it's because we fail to value it. He writes, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. We protect our money, our possessions, our reputations, but when it comes to our hours, our days, our years, we give them away freely, to distractions, to trivial pursuits, to regrets. And then, one day, we wake up and realize how little time we have left. You will realize," Seneca warns, "that you are dying prematurely." So how do we stop this? How do we reclaim the time we have left and use it wisely? The first step is to recognize that every moment is a gift. Seneca tells us, "Life is long if you know how to use it." To make the most of our time, we must start living with intention. Instead of letting life happen to us, we must take charge of how we spend our days. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Is it your relationships, your health, your creative passions? Whatever it is, prioritize it. Don't let the noise of the world drown out the things that bring you purpose. But prioritization isn't enough. We must also learn to guard our time fiercely. Seneca compares time to a precious possession, one that we must protect from the countless forces trying to steal it. He says, "You will find no one willing to share out his money. But to how many does each of us divide up his life?" Think about this the next time someone asks for your time. Is this task, this meeting, this obligation truly worth it? Does it align with your values and goals? Or is it just another distraction? Learning to say no is not selfish. It is an act of self-respect. By saying no to what doesn't matter, you're saying yes to what does. Seneca also emphasizes the importance of reflection. At the end of each day, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, how did I spend today? Did my actions align with my priorities? Reflection helps us become more aware of how we use our time and where we might be wasting it. He writes, "Call to mind when you ever had a fixed purpose. How few days have passed as you had planned, when you were ever at your own disposal." Reflection is not just an exercise in self-awareness. It is a way to ensure that your life is not slipping away unnoticed. Now let's address the fear that often keeps us stuck. The fear of the future. We waste time worrying about things we can't control, endlessly preparing for every possible outcome. Seneca tells us that this is futile. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, he says. Worrying about tomorrow is one of the greatest wastes of today. Instead, he urges us to live in the present moment, to focus on what we can control, and let go of the rest. Finally, Seneca reminds us of the importance of quality over quantity. It's not about how many years you live, but how deeply you live them. He writes, "You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. What if, instead of chasing more, you focused on better relationships, better moments, better use of your time? What if, instead of adding years to your life, you added life to your years? Time is not infinite. Every moment you waste is a moment you will never get back. But here's the good news. You have the power to change how you use your time, starting right now. So ask yourself today, if I only had 1 year to live, how would I spend it? Whatever your answer, start living that way now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It may never come. As Seneca says, life is long enough and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested. So how will you invest your time? If this message resonated with you, take action. Start by reflecting on how you spend your hours today. Let us know in the comments what changes you plan to make, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Remember, life is not short. Life is long, if you know how to use it.